Well, hello. It is Friday. And my voice is a little froggy, but it's okay. It is Friday. Happy Friday. Happy Halloween Eve. If you celebrate that. I got my little skeleton earrings. My name is Renita, if you don't know who I am, and I am the creator of Be Your Own Kind. My motto is there's never an inopportune time to be yourself. So I thought it would be more appropriate to just talk about fears today, but I just want to wait a minute and save this on my my Facebook. Let me see, save it to my Facebook page while I wait on some people to come in. So don't mind me because I still don't know how to do this after all this time. If anyone knows how to share, I don't know. Let me see. I can copy the link. This is when my age show for real, for real. For real, for real, for real, for real. Okay, there we go. All right, so post. All right, so I did my due diligence. So yeah, so as you can see in the banner, the marquee, you can always follow me on IG, be_your_own_kind. My website is beyourownkind.com. And if you want to join the conversation, just hit the link in the comments box. Also, the link is scrolling across the screen. So as you can see that. So like I said earlier, we're going to be talking about fears. And then my voice was fine all day, and this just happened. There we go. So we all have fears, whether they're big or small, whether they're tangible, intangible. We all are afraid of something, and sometimes fears develop from past experiences. Sometimes fears just, I don't know. People are afraid of pets because maybe they had a bad experience with a pet. Some things of you've tried something and you failed it, and now you're afraid to do it again or failing at it again. Things that sort. So there are all different types of fears. So I thought it would be cool to just explore that topic because it's Halloween weekend. So why not, right? So let's get started because I don't want to take too much of your time because it is Friday. It's Friday and you probably want to watch scary movies. Speaking of scary movies, has anyone seen that movie Bad Hair or Hulu? Is it Hair? What's the name of that movie? Let me see. I think I put it on my my Instagram. I think it has Usher in it, and I could be all wrong with the cast. It's called Bad Hair, something Hair. Oh, here it is. Let me show you. Let me share my screen with you. It's called, Bad Hair. Has anybody seen this? It's on Hulu. And I've heard some reviews about it, like wasn't really good reviews, but this is supposed to be the scary movie of 2020, I guess. So so anyway, so let's get into it. So I didn't look up the definition of fear, but we can do it right now. So let's see. So the definition of fear is an unpleasant emotion caused by the belief that someone or something is dangerous, likely to cause pain or threat. So mainly when we're afraid of something, we're afraid of what could happen, what might happen, or we're afraid that something will recur again. And so sometimes you can be paralyzed in fear that can stop you. Just like, for instance, I'm totally afraid of clowns, like totally, absolutely afraid of clowns. So you will not catch me at a circus. You will not. Like, I do not like circuses at all. I just don't. So speaking of our fears, the first question I wanted to ask, so what are your fears? Like, what are you afraid of? And I just told you I'm afraid of clowns. But let me show you the scariest picture that I've seen this year that really just spooked me out. Yes. So not only is this a clown, this is a Trump clown. This is probably the scariest thing that I have seen this whole in my entire life. Like, this guy dressed as a clown. He creeps me out. He really creeps me out, and I'm only gonna look at this for so long, whatever. So I did look up my fear, and it's called Uncanny Valley. Pretty much, I'm afraid of things like, I'm not afraid of like puppets, but Uncanny Valley is the fear of fear of like puppet-like features. Like for clowns, their eyes is pretty much painted on, so there's no blinking or anything. So it's just a frozen face. So it's supposed to be the fear of like a frozen face. But I just don't like clowns. I don't think it's that deep for me. You're afraid of failing, right? And that's a really, really, really common and deep fear. So you're afraid of failing, which kind of links up with the fear of trying. You know what I'm saying? So you want to try, but you're afraid that you're gonna fail. So it's almost like, yeah, yeah, you're afraid of trying because you don't want it to fail. And so when you, even though I'm skipping a beat, but even when you are afraid of failing, it comes to the point where you have to ask yourself, but what if this actually works? What if I don't fail, if it fell like this? What if I do it this way? We always talk about this every week, to just maneuver. Plan A, plan B. I feel redundant with that, but that's how I live life. So the fear of failing is come from something that has happened before. So this is something that you don't want to reoccur. You know what I'm saying? So this is a good one. This is a really, really good one. I'm gonna get this scary guy off my my screen because it's super scary. I cannot stand this dude. And he's sending me emails now, not him personally, but the camp is sending emails and texts, and it's really annoying. So another scary thing that I wanted to talk about was this. So I don't know if you've noticed, but a lot of rappers are teaming up with this dude. And I really think it has something to do with the tax laws. Like Biden actually wants to increase taxes for people in a certain tax bracket. So basically he's trying to tax the rich more, and they're not on that. That's why I'm saying I think that's the reason why most of these rappers are hopping on the bandwagon of Trump. This is a fear of mine. This dude is the reason probably why we're talking about fears today, because I have been petrified the whole time he has been been a president, and I'm super petrified if it's 4 more years of this. But anyway, I'm being funny, but it is scary. It's really, really scary. So, and if you have any fears, just list them in the comments and we could just talk about it. So now that I'm done being funny and facetious and talking about Trump, uh so you said, Kristen, that you're afraid of failing. What do you know the root cause of that? And like I said earlier, if you're that's exactly why they teaming up with him. They don't want those taxes to go up. They absolutely don't. And I think that's what it is. And a lot of people on this whole cancel culture thing, and I'm just like, they just don't want to pay taxes. Like, they've been getting away with not paying taxes. I don't even think it's not about race, it's about their money. Like, rich want to stay richer, and Biden is like, no, now you got to pay taxes. In my 2 cent Wednesdays, Kristen, we talked about how Trump was forgiven for over $287 million. $287 million loan forgiveness. And you have people out here that have student loans and home loans, and they file in bankruptcy, which you have to pay for that. So that puts you more in the hole. And here he is, a rich man, getting forgiven for over $287 million. So no, they don't want to pay those higher taxes. I totally agree with you. Oh yes, I know the root. I'm slowly getting over, and I'm glad. That's half the battle, is knowing the root of that. And only way to get over the fear of failure is to try. Is to try. And once again, even just setting micro goals of something that can be attained. If you want to go back to school, this is just an example. If you want to go back to school, then just pick a school or just research a major. Check it off. That's a success. We have to measure our micro successes. That's what stops from the whole stuck feeling, the whole depression feeling, things of that sort. So that is a good way of overcoming fear. Like, I think one of my I don't think, but I know one of my biggest fears is gaining and then losing it. Like doing all the work, accomplishing it, being at a certain place, and then just lose it all. So it's like, that's also a rendition of the fear of failure, because it's like, okay, half of you is like, do I want to try? Do I want to be consistent? Because will I just gain it all just to lose it again? So, things like that. And those are intangible fears. So once again, we have those tangible fears, like being afraid of clowns, but then we have those intangible where we're afraid to move forward or afraid to do something because we're afraid that it's not going to work out. So yeah. So the next question that I have is, how do you overcome your fears? And we just talked about that, right, Kristen? Just doing, but just by doing it. Because when you do it, now the fear is gone because you've done it. And so now you're experiencing the outcome. Because fear is mainly focusing on something that may happen, that could possibly happen. But when you step forward and do it, like if you go outside because it's afraid, because you don't go outside because you're afraid it's going to rain. So you sit all day in the house. It's a beautiful sunny day, but you're afraid as soon as you step outside, it's going to rain. Now you've missed out on a perfectly good day. Now, what if you just went outside anyway and it didn't rain? Now you know that you can have a perfectly good day because you stepped outside your fear. And yes, that's something small, but that's hey cousin, how are you doing? But that's a small thing, but that's what we do. We say, okay, I want to try this business, but then we think of 50 million reasons and ways why we shouldn't start a business, why we shouldn't move forward instead of just starting it, because you don't know if it's going to fail or succeed until you start, until you do it. So I feel like that's a really good way of overcoming fear. Yes, it's all about the what ifs. That's why there are sayings out there, do it scared, do it anyway. Because fear is going to be there. It's always going to be something in your mind telling you that you cannot do it. So that's where faith comes in, right? That I'm going to do this anyway. All odds are against me, but I'm going to pray about it, and I'm just going to move forward in this thing. So that's why there's a thing called, I'm glad you're doing good, paralyzed in fear, because fear will paralyze you mentally, physically. It'll paralyze your goals, paralyze your dreams. Fear is just I don't know, it's just a goal crusher, in my opinion. I'm glad you're doing good, cousin. I'm so happy you're doing. I love that picture of you and dad and uncle and your dad. There's a lot of people in that picture. I love it. Look, cousins are in that picture. But yeah, of course, I have an article, Kristen. It's a really quick one because I don't want to hold you guys because, like I said, it's Halloween weekend. So let me just get to it right quick. I could just fear that my link is not going to work, right? So maybe I didn't put the whole thing there. Sometimes with laptops, you should probably just get the whole mouse because this little fake mouse don't want you to be great. There we go. And it's not like you guys can see it, so. So he calls it the 4 topics about fear, but when I read it, it looked like he was more so talking about how to overcome fear. So one of the things that he said, which me and Kristen just talked about, was accepting your fears. He said there's no need to fight your fears, right? Because you're fighting something intangible. You're fighting a thought. You can't fight a thought. The only way to overcome a thought is literally overcome it. Literally replace that thought with another thought. I can never do this can turn into, you know what? I'm going to try this, and if it works, it works. And if it don't, at least I tried. Change of perspective. You can't fight a fear. You can't see a fear. You only think in the fear. It's in your head. Because, and here's the thing, even if you went out and did it and it didn't work, at least you tried. At least you can go a different route a second time around. You know what I'm saying? So he's right. He says there's no need to fight your fears. The more you fight, the more they will haunt you. If you accept them the way they are, they will bring a shift in your consciousness necessary to move beyond the fear. Because here's the question that I ask when I'm faced with fear. What is the worst that can happen? When you're on your job and you have toxic coworkers or a toxic boss that's making your life like horrible, just making your life pure hell every day. What is the worst thing that your boss can do to you? He can fire you. Is firing the end of the world? No, it's not. I mean, it sucks because, you're not getting constant income, but it's the worst thing that can happen. He can't destroy your peace. He can't destroy your love, can't destroy your family. You know what I'm saying? When you have toxic people in your life, when you're in toxic situations, what's the worst that can happen? And you're right. You're right, cousin. Fear comes from the devil. It's a tool used to fight against God's will. Because if we remember, God did not give us the spirit of fear. So it has to come from Satan. It's notated in the Bible that he did not give us fear. These are thoughts and situations that's been planted in our head. That's why it doesn't make sense to fight them. And if you do want to fight them, if we're on a biblical ground, you can fight it with prayer in your Bible, prayer in the word, and it does fight you against God's will, because God will say, hey, I think this situation is for you. I want you to speak to multitudes. I want you to take your experiences to help somebody else, but you're on fear. What if they don't like me? What if they judge me? What if you touch them? What if you touch their world and change their whole life just by following your purpose and God's will for your life? It's almost good to flip perspective. And like for every negative thing, say a positive thing. What if I do make it? What if I do succeed? What if I do try this million times to lose weight and it actually works? What if I apply to this same position or for the same promotion one more time and I actually get it? You see how that's a change in mind and perspective? See how you're replacing a negative thought with a positive one. You're decreasing the fear. Thanks, cousin. That was a good point. Good point. So fear is normal, right? This is just anyone who says that they are not afraid of anything. I'm sorry, respectfully, I do not believe them, because I feel like everyone has something that they are afraid of. It may not be to the magnitude of the next person, but everybody has something that they're afraid of. Now, how they deal with that and how they work through that, that's the difference. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what makes the difference. So the author is saying fear is normal. There is nothing to be embarrassed about in being afraid. If you are afraid, then you just are. Society has connected fear with the sign of weakness. That is one of the reasons why we hate to accept that we are afraid. When you can accept fear as a normal emotion, it doesn't bother you anymore. Fear is part of that emotion, just like a lot of people don't like to feel angry. And I talked to my therapist. Yes, therapy is good. I talked to my therapist and she was like, it's okay to be angry. It's okay. We walk with these smiles. Nothing fears me. Nothing bothers me. La da 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 da, da 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 da. And on the inside, you are crumbling. Get that stuff out. Look, you piss me off. Go outside and I don't know. Sometimes I just scream. Sometimes you just scream. Then they have these places where you can break stuff and all this. I know people do things, but my whole point is let it out. Let it out. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to be hurt. It's okay to be scared. It's okay. And I think right now with COVID, with all these things going on, the civil unrest, the election, the pandemic, all this stuff, like we have all these emotions and we're still not allowing ourselves to feel it. This pandemic, how long is this going to go? And then the fear of catching this stuff. And then the fear of your family and your friends catching this stuff and dying from this stuff. People are paralyzed in fear right now, especially people that are losing their jobs or they have to find a job in this time. You know what I'm saying? Paralyzed in fear. Now, how do you deal with it when stuff is actually happening? Even in the middle of a situation of things that's happening, it's still what ifs in that, right? What if I get this? What if this not happen? What if I don't find a job? What if my family member goes to the store and they get pulled over? You know what I'm saying? Like, these are fears. What if? But you can't not go outside. You can't not apply for jobs. You cannot, wear your mask, but you cannot stop your life because of what ifs, And what are you saying, love? A thing I've been seeing in people writing their fears down on a plate and then going somewhere and smashing the plate to smash away their fears. That is great. Go to the dollar store. Go to the dollar store. They sell those breakable plates. Those, I don't know, ceramic plates. You can try that. I think I'm going to go tomorrow. Get a marker, write down your fears, and break it. Release the aggression, because fear causes aggression. It causes depression. It causes all types of things because you're just afraid. And we are not supposed to be living afraid. Like, we're just not, Oh, I know what you meant. You got to process your emotions what's best for you. You can't do it to somebody else's blueprint because we're all different. We're different and the same. That's weird, but I get that now as at this age. So number 3, explore the unknown. Every year, make a list of things that you fear the most. Then do something every day that gets you closer to the unknown factor, residing in the fear. Gradually, you will overcome all your fears one by one. For instance, I'm afraid of heights, but I love roller coasters. But I'm afraid to be in an elevator. Isn't that weird? I can't explain it. That's just how it is. I think it's the closed in space because when you're on a roller coaster, you're outside and you're kind of, suspended to the chair and they've done all these safety man. I don't know. I guess I should be afraid of it, but you're only up for like 5 seconds and you're down and by the time you look up, it's over. But I used to work at a job where we had to get on the elevator every day. I mean, I still work in one, but it was a higher one. It was like I had to be like on the 13th floor. And I used to, like the first couple of months I was petrified, but after a while it didn't bother me at all. It didn't bother me much, so that's one thing, just taking a couple of steps. I mean, I had to get on that elevator, but but if you're afraid of something, write down what you're afraid of and then steps to not be afraid of that anymore. And then you'll look up because a lot can change in a week. A lot can change in 3 months. Like if you notate what's going on right now on 10/30/2020 and then notate what's happening 11/30/2020, you will realize so much has changed. And what made me even realize that is my niece Zoe. She was born and she was learning little things. Now she's walking, she's saying words, and it just felt like she literally was born yesterday. It is unbelievable. Every time I see her, she's taller, she's smarter, and she's learning more and observe more. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you just look at the elevation of a baby, that shows you how much can change in just a little bit of time. And she learned those things a little at a time. When you're born, you can't do absolutely anything. It's a clean slate. It's a clean slate. The baby don't know how to do anything. And then you look up from them not being able to hold their head to now they're running around and saying words and they want this. They have preferences of food and, like they have little personalities. That's just how fast life is. And that's how fast change is. It's one thing that's inevitable. Change is going to happen. Now, what's inevitable is if you're going to roll with that change, if you're going to make the steps and roll with it, who you telling? Right. Zoe is getting so big. And I'm just like, dang, a lot can happen in a year. Oh, geez. I'm afraid of heights, but yet I like okay, cousin. Okay, I don't feel weird now. But I like roller coasters too. I also got on the giant drop at Great America, but that was because I don't like being afraid of anything. And see, here's the thing. You have fears, but you don't like the fear, so you do it anyway. And that's a way of conquering it. You know what? This scares me, but I'm going to do this anyway. And the giant big drop is very similar to a big elevator, in my opinion. It's a big, you're in an enclosed space in this box, and then it just suddenly drop. And what is the biggest fear when people are on elevators? That the thing is going to just fall and drop. And I've been stuck on elevators twice. Kristen say, and babies yes, babies are fearless. You want to know why? Clean slate. Nothing has happened yet for them to be afraid of something. But if you notice the older they'll get, they may have failed somewhere and they may not like to do that anymore. They may have eaten some before and then they start spitting it out. They may see a little spider and something just don't look right. And like, if you keep watching Kristen as she growing up, she will develop little things that she's afraid of. The thing is, even if she's afraid of that spider, look, it doesn't, well, they do bite, but look at that spider. I don't say play with it and get bit by it, but look at this spider. It's not going to hurt you from afar. Like as we get older and older and experiences, like if you want to get deep, you just get paralyzed in fear. That's just my quote today, so yeah, they're fearless. And that's how we have to go through life. Babies come straight. Yes, they do come straight from God with a clean slate. And then, I don't know, the world just does something. No, the giant drop is out in the open. A straight 2-story drop. You sure it's not in oh cousin, you finna take me off subject right quick. Let me look this up. I thought it was like a let me see, giant drop. Yeah, it already know what I'm talking about. Uh oh, you know you right. I can admit when I'm wrong. Okay, you know you're right. Okay, it is out, and that's even scarier. Then obviously I didn't get on it. Okay, yeah, you are out in the open, and it just drops, and then it drops twice. You are right. Yeah, nah, nah. It is definitely the trick of the enemy, and the wisdom in that is knowing that. That's why I'm saying you can counter that when you're afraid of like to be honest with you, I'm afraid of public speaking. That's why it's odd that I do this at all. But it's like the more you do something, the more you get comfortable with it, you know? And I'm even taking like Toastmasters. I don't know if anybody heard of that, but Toastmasters, and it makes you comfortable because I'm speaking with people every Monday about random things. You have to work at it. You have to work at it. Looks like yeah, it is an elevator inside out. You are definitely right. As I'm looking at this, it is and you almost make me want to find. Okay, I have a short attention span. Let's see. And okay, so I think it's about to show us right quick. Okay, we don't need to see all this. I haven't been to an amusement park in so long. Wait. What is this? Why do videos just not show you what you're looking for? Okay, so we're going up. Okay, yeah, that's pretty high. Are they gonna start it? I'm so impatient. Okay, this is not showing me the giant drop. Oh, maybe it's here. Okay, there we go. Now, why did they put this in the middle of the video? They just gonna make us watch this whole video. Okay. Look how high that is. I don't like my feet dangling ever. Like, ever. Thanks, cousin. Now I have to actually get on the ride. I don't recall getting on this ride. I don't see myself on it. Look how high that is, and your feet just dangling. Look how far that is off the ground, like for real. Oh my god. Oh my god, they about to drop. Oh, just and then you don't know when it's gonna drop. The suspense of it all.
1, 2, 3, 4.
When is it? Oh no! Okay, so then at least they don't drop like all the way at the bottom. At least they give you a minute. Oh wow. Yeah, no. So now I have to actually get on it. Okay, so you said it dropped twice. This one just did it one time, but I do think it drops more than once. Like, yeah. Thanks, cousin. Thanks, cousin. I think my cousin trying to traumatize me. Trick or treat. I'm getting tricked. Oh, yes. I'm totally afraid of public speaking, but people never know that I'm afraid of public speaking. I like tremble, and in the first couple of seconds, I like stutter, don't know what to say. But the more that I do these lives, the better that is making me. Because though that everything is virtual, though I feel like I should like practice standing up. That's what one of the Toastmaster colleagues told me Monday, like, because in a real, in a one-on-one or an in-person situation, I would need to be standing up. I wouldn't be sitting here. So now I'm comfortable sitting down talking, but if I stand up, I don't really know the outcome of that. So I think I want to start standing up when I'm going live or in a meeting, because maybe that'll still help me with practicing. So yeah, thanks, cousin. I thought you were talking about these heights. You scaring me with that. So the last point on here, and then I'm gonna let you guys go, is know the roots. And I think I asked Kristen earlier, like, what was the root of her fear of failure? And the author says, go into the source of your fear. Some fears are based on past conditioning. Having a good understanding of the roots from where it all started will help in moving towards state of fearlessness. So if you have the fear of abandonment, it stems from being abandoned, like, over and over and over again. Not one time, that somebody said they were going to be there and didn't, or not one time you were with someone and then they just flat out just disappeared on you. Like, the fear of abandonment is a real serious one, and I think that permeates into, like, all relationships, because you start holding on tight to this one person and suffocating them, and it might be a person that's not going to abandon you, and it might be a person that is in your corner, but you're suffocating them out of the fear that they're going to leave you like everybody else. So, but knowing, hey, I have this fear of abandonment because as a child, people kept promises, and they made promises and didn't keep those, or they were here one minute and I didn't see them the next. And then that stuff grows up with you. If you don't, it grows up with you, and it's good to know, the root of where your fear comes from, where you can attack it from there. And some fears, we don't know where it came from. Those are the ones that you just have to just start right there. Like, okay, well, let me do this so it can go away. But there are some fears we have that are rooted for, if you've been abused. I don't want to get too deep, but things like that, those are things that you have to tackle with therapy, with getting the tools on how to tackle that, knowing your triggers. There are fears, like, so knowing the root of that is, I think that's a really good point. So here we go. Let me see. Moving on. Death seems to be the second issue bothering everyone if the world ends. I don't want to scare everybody. Yeah. Okay. So the end of this got dark. So does anybody have any commentary? Look, we still ended at the same exactly. The unknown fears are the worst. Yeah, the unknown fears are the worst. Like, when you can tackle, like, oh, I'm afraid of this dog because when I was 5 years old, this dog bit me. So that's understandable. But if you're walking around and you're afraid of commitment, but you don't know where it came from, because there are some people who grow up, with both their parents, and they've seen their parents commit to each other and commit to things, but still they grow up and they have issues with commitment. You know what I'm saying? Like me with the fear of public speaking. Like, my mom and my dad are very great, they can draw in a crowd. A crowd doesn't scare them. They're open. They can talk. They draw people to them. But when I'm in an open setting, it takes me a minute to even say anything. Like, so, like, that's what I'm saying. Some of these things you might not match genetically with your family. So they may have these strong points with things that just are just, you have to work on. You know what I'm saying? So, and I don't know where that came from. That's my point. I don't know where that fear came from, but it's there, so what do I do? Do I sit in the corner and never go outside and talk to people? No, I'm just gonna keep talking, even when I'm scared, even when I'm afraid I might say something awkward, because I'm bound to. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just gotta, you just gotta attack your fear head on. So thank you. You and cousin Target are the greatest. Cousin Tyree, because I'm gonna confuse myself if I say cousin Target. But yeah, so Mom, I see that you're just hopping on. Before I get off, do you want to answer the question, how do you overcome your fears? And then we'll just end it here. And then he says, at the end, if the world ends, it ends. It will release us from a life where we yearn for things that are useless to show off to people who don't matter. Oh wow, he got real dark at the end. Screw those fears. You're right. Screw them. I know what you meant. And that's a good attitude. Look, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen, but it's not gonna stop me from living. And YOLO is one of those overused acronyms that people say, but it's true. You only live once. So you're gonna spend your entire life of fear, or are you just gonna do it? Just dash and just do it. You know what I'm saying? And my mom says she overcomes her fear through prayer and identifying the origin of the fear. And that's great. That's great. Hey, cousin. My cousin's actually having a baby. So congratulate her, everybody. I love my cousin Jessica. I done told all her business. Right. Oh, I love it. Feel the fear and do it anyway. So even when you're trembling, do it anyway. Even when you're shaking, do it anyway. Oh, I love that. I love that. Feel the fear and do it anyway. You could be shaking in your boots. Like and tongue tied, but but do it anyway. I love that. I absolutely love that. And I love you too, cousin. Yes, fear the fear. I love that. Feel the fear because fear will have you shaking and I tremble every time before I public speak. But you just got to do that anyway. You know what I'm saying? I love it. I love it. Yes, that's a great perspective. All of you all have some great perspectives today. And I just thought fear was something to just touch upon because Halloween is tomorrow and that's what it's about, right? I guess it's about fear when you're I don't know when is Halloween to adults though. I think it's just like the chance to just dress up every day. I mean, not dress up every day, but dress up and just have fun and be something else, for a day. So, but basically, with the scary movies and the goblins and the ghouls and the goblins or whatever, it is essentially fear. You know what I'm saying? So, haunted houses is supposed to, ignite some fear in you. And if I see a clown, I'm going to run. I remember I went to a haunted house and I don't like needles. A haunted house and it was this fake zombie nurse and she had it looked like a syringe. I don't know if the needle was there or not, but I saw the syringe and I was running and I tripped and I fell. Oh my God. So meanwhile, I dropped my phone at the point where I saw the nurse. So she's chasing me, but I'm thinking she's like, I'm scared, like this is all fake, but in my mind is real when I saw that needle. So I'm running and she's chasing me. And so so when I fell, she's like, ma'am, you dropped your phone. I was just trying to give you a phone. And even when she was trying to tell me she was giving my phone, I was like, get away from me. So that's how you know that fear is real, because it's like, that the haunted house is fake. You know that no one's going to harm you or hurt you. But then something triggers you and you're just like, it just becomes real. That's how fear is, man. It just makes you think something is real and it's not. And that's why I said fear is an illusion. I'm scared of haunted houses, but when I go on one, I keep telling myself it's not real. Right? You keep telling yourself, but if like you're afraid of spiders, so if you see a spider moving and it's a mechanical spider, to you, all of a sudden this fake spider is going to be real to you because it's triggering a fear that you have. So that's just how. Yeah, fear is totally real. But you know what's more real? Action. You know what's more real? Courage. Courage always trumps fear. It always trumps fear. Courage will never lose to fear. And you don't need to be a mighty person and know all these fancy things to have courage. Courage is just doing it. Once again, like Jessica said, just feeling the fear and just doing it. That's all courage is. I'm scared, I'm trembling, I feel it, but I'm just going to do it anyway. That's all courage is. It's not a big feat just to do it. That's it. Just doing it. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Oh yeah, a real effects. Yes, my sister's petrified. Yes, courage. That's what trumps fear. Courage. So this was a wonderful live. Thank you for all that took the time to spend your Friday with me. Every Friday I appreciate you all because you could be doing anything on a Friday night, but you chose to kick it with me. So I love that. I wish you all a great weekend. Have a safe Halloween out there. I can't wait to see all the costumes on my feed tomorrow. That's my favorite part about Halloween, like seriously. So I love you all. And until next week, don't forget to be your own kind. Bye.